Hi, welcome to Pinstriping Made Easy. I'm Craig Judd, and I produced this video to show you how easy pinstriping can be. With this video, you'll learn the trade secrets of pinstriping. First, I want you to watch the video all the way through. Then I want you to use your pause, rewind, and play buttons on your VCR and follow me through each step over and over. Pretty soon you'll get the feel of what I'm showing you. It should become much easier as you go. All you have to do is follow my instructions and practice. The key is practice, constantly. Let's go to the drawing board. I'd like to talk to you about the brush. This is a double-aught Mac brush. This is the one I use almost all of my striping. This brush will work good for you because it's small to start out with. The importance of the brush is the holding of it. You'd hold it just like you would a pencil. Above the wrap. This is called the wrap. This is the knife edge. And of course, this is the handle. Always, when you look at this brush, there's a round side and a flat side to it. Always remember to keep the left side, the flat side to the left. Always. And you know you've got the brush, you hold it right. Because if you pick this brush up, some people don't know if it's upside down or straight. But if the flat side's to the left, you'll always have it right. And you'll know when you start mixing the paint in and start drawing your line, you'll know it's right. If it's upside down, it won't go. These brushes are made out of European squirrel hair. It says on the box they're camel hair, but they're not. They're European squirrel hair. And never, ever touch this with water, the hair. Because once you touch it with water, the hair is dead, and you might as well just throw your brush away. And if this brush is not taken care of, every time you use it, and put oil in it, lard oil in it, and you firm it, set it down. If it's not right, the next time you pick it up, your job's going to be hard. Here's your lard oil. Lard oil is to clean your brushes with. After you clean your brushes with thinner, the same thinner that you use to stripe with, that's what you'll clean your brushes with. And later on in the video, I'll show you how to do that. That's very important on your brush. And then you dip your brush in lard oil, squeeze it out 3 or 4 times, and shape them and put them on a palette. Not a piece of paper or a piece of wood. It has to be metal because the wood or the paper will draw the lard oil right out of the brush and dry it up, because the next time you get ready to use it, it'll be dry, and you don't want that. They make about 5 different sizes of this brush. It starts out double-aught, the one I use, my favorite, an aught, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. The bigger the brush is, the bigger stripe you're going to get. My experience is the bigger the brush, the harder to handle. But a lot of guys use a big, thick line. Mine kind of noted for the thin lines, and that's what I like to use. And to do the thin lines, you stand up on the brush. You stand way up on it with less pressure. But starting out, do it firm. It doesn't make no difference what size your lines are, because you're just learning. And as you go, you'll find out how to do the thinner lines easier. And you want to put some thinner in a little container. What you want to do is you want to squeeze the hair, and you want to get all the paint out of the heel of the brush. If that paint dries in the heel of the brush, it ruins your brush. So you want to do it a bunch of times. You want to squeeze it. You don't want to pull on the hair too much. You just want to keep it firm and squeeze it out like that. Then you want to put lard oil in it when you get through. And you do the same thing with the lard oil. You put it in and you squeeze it out. And you do this about 3 or 4 times. And you want to get that oil wet into the heel of the brush, because you don't want it to dry up in there. And then you kind of shape your brush, and then you just lay it down flat, and that's the way you store it. Okay, now I'd like to talk to you about the lettering quill brush. This is a Mac lettering quill brush. They come in all different sizes. They go from double-aught, just like the striping brush, all the way up to about a 12. Of course, the bigger the brush, the bigger lettering you're going to do. And you can also use this for scroll work in your striping. This here is called an outliner. And this is for like the real fine scroll work. And I don't buy the outliners. I make my own. And what I do is I get a brush, and I take a razor blade, and I hold it right on the edge, and I turn that brush like that. And that makes my outliner. They work better than the outliner because the outliner is usually longer, and you can handle the shorter hair better. And if you, with a little practice, you can get those down to an outliner. A lot of people don't know about that. I learned it from a friend of mine, old-time pinstriper, Neil Averill. And this works really good. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the paint right now. I always use one shot. One shot's the best paint out there that I've used so far. I've got over 30 years experience in this paint, and it's never left me with bad results. Always put a nut or a bolt in it, and what I do, I open it up, put a nut and bolt in it, and what I've done, I've screwed welded a little washer on a screw and tapped a hole in it, and I screw that down. So every time you use your paint, you can shake it up really good and just put a few drops or whatever you need, and that way you don't waste your paint. Because if this top's open enamel, you know it crusts over and you lose a lot of your paint every time you use it. So this way it lasts a long time. There's probably 40 different colors of this one shot, 44 different colors. And here's all your colors here. On any of these colors, you can make any color. I use a lot of lime green. Of course, you know you use yellow with processed green, makes your lime green. Sometimes I muddy some of these colors up because they're too bright and you don't want them that bright. But this is a really good brand of paint, so this is what you need to use. Okay, you want to just dip your brush in the paint, pull it out on the side of the brush, on the side of the cup like that. And I'm doing this on a piece of white paper instead of a magazine. I usually use a magazine like this one, Slick Pages, but I want to do this on a piece of white paper so you can see it really easy. You just dip the tip of the brush in the thinner, just a little teeny bit. You don't dip the whole brush in there. It'll be too wet. And this is something you have to practice too. You want it to drag. And what you want to do is dip it just a little bit. You have to keep doing it to get your consistency just right. And you can tell when you're right because the paint will start dragging. It'll drag a little bit, then you know you're right. And I always kind of go back and forth like that and kind of get the tip ready. And then you're ready to strike. You can practice on anything. And you know when that brush is right, it feels good. And that's how you load the striping brush. Okay, the quill brush is basically the same thing as a striping brush, loading it up. You want to just put the tip of it in the paint like that, pull the excess off the side, back and forth, same way the striping brush, we did the striping brush. Barely touch it into the thinner. And you go back and forth, same thing as the striping brush, and you'll see it, you'll feel it, it'll start dragging, and you know you're right. You don't want that brush soaking wet. It's same with the striping brush, you don't want it soaking wet. And with that brush right there, you can just write whatever you want to write. It's just like anything else. It's got to be loaded right, and that just takes a little practice like anything else. Paper cups will come in focus later on. Always cut them in half like this. And you have to use a paper cup. You can't use a wax paper cup because the wax that's on the cup when you put thinner in it will come off and it'll get into your paint. Your paint will never dry. So never use a paper cup with wax on it. And like I said, cut them in half. They're real easy to use. And what you do, you'll be putting your paint in this paper cup, and that way you'll have it. And that's how it's easy to work out with your brush and stuff. Yeah, I'd like for you to look at this Ford F-150 Harley-Davidson truck that I've done. The long flowing flames, the depth of the colors over light colors over dark colors, and then the eagle that's coming out of the back of the tailgate, the depth of that. You'll see the technique. Another really important thing is Stabilo pencils. And you can buy these in a arts and craft place or sign shops. Got these sign places have these. Also your lard oil, you can get that there. I forgot to mention too, on your lard oil, if you can't find it, transmission fluid will work just as good. Doesn't make no difference what kind of brand or what it is, as long as it's transmission fluid, and you use it just like lard oil. That's the trick of the trade. You can use that. These Stabilo pencils are good for your design work. You can draw things out, and then they're water soluble. When you get through doing your design, 3 or 4 hours when it dries, take a damp towel with a little Windex or something on it, and you can wipe that right off of your design. But this will kind of show you where you're at when you're drawing things out. The colors of the Stabilo pencil will be white and blue, or white and red will work. Your dark color pencil will be for the light color cars or the panels that you're doing. The white, of course, will be for the dark color cars, like black, blues, and different colors like that. And then it just shows you where you're at. It kind of helps you a little bit, and it's water soluble, and you can just wipe it off when you get through. And I'll show you that a little bit later on in the video. Baby powder. This is a secret of the trade. This is what I use. This is like little ball bearings on your fingers. And later on in the video, I'll show you what this powder will do for you. You just put a little bit on your palette, put a little bit on your fingers, and you can slide down the tape really easy. It'll make it really easy for you. So baby powder is very important in your pinstriping. Doesn't make no difference what brand. Also, you need rags, clean rags, and for wiping off your mistakes when you're striping or cleaning up little bitty edges. And what I use is like t-shirts. They work really good because you can get them tight on your finger and push up and clean your edges and on your points of your striping. Sometimes you go over a little bit and you can touch these up. Like a wash rag or something like that's got big hair on it, you can't get close to your work. So old t-shirts works really good for this. Shop towels will work, but this works better. Here's two real important things that you need to get for pinstriping: 1/8 tape and 1/8 fine line. Of course, everybody's got their own way of doing things. I've seen guys stripe with 1/4" tape for a guideline. Myself, I use the 1/8. And you'll be seeing me use this later on in the video, how to use it, and the easy way to stripe with this tape. A lot of guys make it hard, but I can show you how to do it really easy. So the next segment of the tape, I want you to be really watching this. You will thin your paint with. You can use this, or you can use mineral spirits or turpentine. A lot of different stripers use different things. So I kind of use this. It's clean. When I mix it with my paint, I think it goes into the paint job of the car and sticks on really good. I always use medium, even in the summer and the winter. I use medium. You don't pour the thinner in the paint. You'll have a separate container, and this is what I use right here, these little aerosol caps for your thinner. And you'll pour a little bit of thinner in there, and that's what you'll be dipping the brush into. And I'll show you that a little bit later on in the video. One of the most important things when you're pinstriping a car, you need to wipe it down first, usually with soap and water, then go over it with a wax and grease remover. You can also use enamel thinner, but if you're not really too sure if the paint's too fresh on the car that's just been striped, you just want to use wax and grease remover. You put it on with one rag, and then you wipe it off with another rag. And if you think the car's got a lot of wax on it, you'll do that twice with new rags. You'll soak one rag with the wax and grease remover, go back while it's still wet, and dry it with a dry rag. And sometimes you need to do that twice. Very important, because there's nothing worse than striping a car than have to get it back 2 or 3 days later and have to touch it back up because the striping can come off of it. So that's really important. Okay, I'd like for you to look at this pickup I just did. It's a '49 Ford, completely custom with radical graphics. It's won a lot of awards, the Oakland Roadster Show, Sacramento Show. I want you to take a look at the graphics and the striping on this one.
Uh, I'm here to tell you that Craig Judd is unsurpassed in his striping abilities. I've never seen a job that he's done that I haven't liked. All of his work is absolutely superb.
Yeah, I'd like for you to look at this little purple coupe that I've done for Mike out of Chowchilla. Look at the long flowing flames. There's a difference in my flames than other flames. I like the long